Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. Game has finished here behind us at the Stadium of Lights. Finished 1-1 in the end. Do you think it was a fair result in the end, Danny?
Over the 90 minutes, I do, yeah. We had spells. I thought they had spells in the game. First half, especially that opportunity they had. Anthony Patterson makes a good save down to his left-hand side. Then when we get our noses in front, you can feel the little lift in the crowd. The players up the tempo. But then, again, I'm just saying there before we come back on, I felt we started to give little 10-yarders away, or we're getting caught on the ball, not letting each other know that somebody was pressing. And credit to them, they made some changes at the top end of the pitch. And, well, say it's a half chance, isn't it? It's a penalty at the end of the day. And, we'll have a look at it back in a minute. And I think it was. He's unfortunate. Trey's had another good game. Loses his footing, doesn't he? And panics a little bit and has a little grab out at his heels. So massive disappointment. You think you're over the line. We're perhaps going to be up in fourth place. I'm not sure where we are now, but 2 points lost, isn't it, really, when you're at that stage? But over the course of the 90 minutes, I thought Bristol City set up really well.
Yeah, they certainly didn't look 16th in the league, did they?
No,
we've seen everyone here this season,
yep.
haven't we, pretty much, between our games here and, of course, over in the studio as well. And they gave a good account of themselves. And Nigel Pearson obviously will be the happy of the two managers after that. He
certainly will be, yeah. Tony Moby, as we're saying there, he's thinking, you're into stoppage time, 92 minutes on the clock, as it were, still 3 minutes to go, but we're done here now. Just see the game out, lads. People say do a professional job and see it out, but you get a little bit nervy, you drop a little bit deeper. They get a little bit of fortune down that left-hand side. Yeah. I think Pring, he tries a back heel, and it sort of comes back off himself into his path. And Trey he's struggling then. The lad's got a little bit of a run on him, and he panics and has a fish out, and that's that. But no disappointment, some good performances individually across the pitch, I felt, and just disappointment. Obviously you don't see the game out when the 3 points are there for you.
Let's have a look at the action then from the game, and we can discuss some of the more talkable points. And we saw plenty of them, especially in that second half. But in the first half, Ahmad there trying to get the ball across to Jack Clark. Of course, we saw a brilliant goal from Jack Clark over the course of the game, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll get to that, won't we? But yeah, I thought in the first half they had the better opportunities, didn't they? That one there's from a distance, but we don't really press him as well as we could have done, and he pulls the trigger, drags it wide. But you're just seeing from our efforts in the first half, there's a couple of counters for Ahmad. That one we've just seen, another one in a moment. But they looked a threat for me. See how they've worked the ball quite well across the pitch, like you see from our front four, really. And Mehmeti, he thinks he's scored. You see him there, reeling away, ready to celebrate. And great save, Anthony Patterson, down well. He's 6'3" plus, but he gets down really well there to his left-hand side, onto the post. From our angle, I thought it was going to drop into that far side netting off the post, but fortunately it went wide. Then we've got the scramble, haven't we, just after. Bodies everywhere flying around. And
Trey Hume there, of course, with the important block. And he had a good game, apart from that incident at the very end. I guess, them's the break sometimes. Yeah,
that's how it goes sometimes. As a defender, what was it, 89 minutes, he's had a good game, hasn't he? He's got forward well, again, linked up really well. But unfortunately, that's what happens in football. This one was a little bit generous, to be felt for the goalkeeper, didn't we? But we'll look back. I don't think, again, we were at our 100% best. I give it credit to Bristol City as well. We're saying them coming up there, they're sat in 16th is, you just said it's maybe a little bit of a false reflection on where they're perhaps at. Yeah. But they're eight games unbeaten in the league, 9 now after today. I think they've had 5 draws in that lot, but just breeds
another one this afternoon then.
Yeah, it just breeds confidence into the players. And
they were going close though. They were going close all afternoon. They went out the game at any point, I don't think, Bristol City.
No, that's just going to that one there. That's a good opportunity. Jack frustrating in the first half for him, and they doubled up well on him again, like we've seen perhaps down at Millwall a couple of weeks with George Honeyman helping out the fullback. But on that one, he fed it into Joe Gallagher, and he coming across, he gets across his man, just can't get anything on it. And it was a frustrating afternoon for Joe, I felt. Times he was a little bit isolated, balls come up to him and didn't quite stick, but for the goal, for Jack's goal, it did. Similar with Patrick, really, grew into the game. Patrick will keep going. He might have moments where it doesn't come off for him, but what he does, he's got this in his locker, and he goes past people like they're not there. And he pulls it back for Joe. You see Joe there on the swivel.
What did you make of Joe's performance this afternoon?
Yeah, just mentioned there, really. It was difficult for him, again, frustrated, isolated at times. We need to get bodies around him. He's different to Ross. Ross can perhaps handle himself in one-on-one situations better than Joe in terms of his mobility and getting around players. And Joe's perhaps more of that box player, really. So, relying on service coming into him around the box at little give and goes and players around him. But yeah, obviously getting into the second half now, start of it, they get a chance early down that left-hand side, balls fired across. We've got a lot of bodies back there. and they perhaps haven't committed as many.
When they took Mehmeti off, I thought they lost a little bit of a threat on that left-hand side. Obviously, the chance comes from the left-hand side, doesn't it, for the penalty? De Silva coming off the bench very late on. But Mehmeti was pretty, dangerous.
When he got the ball, they perhaps didn't get enough of it to him.
Yeah, I agree.
At times, first off, when he got it, he had a 5-minute spell where he was on it and he was lively, but then all of a sudden they didn't get the ball to him, and perhaps we grew into the game and had some of it, so you can take that away from him. And then he came off, as you say. But credit to Nigel Pearson, he made 3 attacking changes, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
20 minutes to go, and I thought they were actually fairly quiet until towards the end of the game. They had that one when it come across. Naki Wells had the chance, didn't he?
Yeah.
From Sykes nodding it back across. But other than that, they didn't really do too much. Conor, quiet. He put a ball in from the touchline, went over the crossbar. But it only takes one incident in the game, doesn't it? This is the one, Sykes there firing it cross. I think that's Mehmeti still on at that stage, isn't it? Yeah, so they had an opportunity actually to go out to Mehmeti. They turned it down and come back into him. I don't think that ball's ever on, really, is it? He's too far outside the 6-yard box, outside the goals there. And is this the goal now? I think it is, isn't it? Is it Jack coming inside?
Bang.
Yeah, bang, there it is. So we've missed the build-up play there in terms of ball coming into Joe and him feeding out wide. But that's where you want to see Jack Clark. Seen it on Tuesday night. Where's he at his best? Getting the ball, corner of the 18-yard box, squaring the defender up 1v1. And look, the defender knows what he wants to do, but he can't shift his feet. Next man comes across too late. Jack puts his laces through this one, as opposed to what he did on Tuesday, where he just passed it under the goalkeeper. And then you're thinking now, right, there's the relief in the stadium. We get ourselves in front. Can we go on now? Can we go and get the second, take the pressure off?
There was about 10 minutes after the goal, Danny, where Sunderland were really purring. There was one move where we must have played maybe 50 passes easy.
Yeah, across the pitch, wasn't it? And it's just that opportunity. This one, Ahmad goes through a couple, off balance slightly. Half shout for a penalty from a couple. I think it's as he chops past this one, he loses his foot slightly there. He's off balance. It's not, and the left back Pring comes across, gets the challenge in. Another one here, isn't it? Second bite at this one. Yeah, defender pokes it into Patrick's path, and we said
good save that.
Even though it's on his right foot, he does catch it really well, and he thinks he's passed it into that bottom corner. But it's a good save from the goalkeeper. Keeper's going to his right, then puts the brakes on, down well to his left-hand side. But yeah, as you said there, so we've got the goal now, and you're thinking, right, second's on its way really. Can we get the second? And then just relieves the players, play with that freedom. But say it time and time again, don't you? When you're at 1-0, you're obviously still vulnerable to concede, and that's obviously what's happened. But you see there, since the goal, we've had 2 or 3 opportunities. Patrick again involved. Drills this one low. Obviously, I think it moves in the air, that one. I thought it would come off his knees at first because it flies back out, doesn't it? But it's a good, strong wrist from the goalkeeper. Going the other way. And then Jack Clark, yeah, just on this one, I'm thinking Jack, he never all afternoon went on the left, did he? He always wanted to come back inside. Now, Jack will say, well, look what's happened for me goal.
Yeah.
I've tucked it away, but I just think, yeah, just
mix
even once in the game, just go on the outside, put the doubt in the fullback's mind, and then he perhaps overcompensates in terms of his defending, and it allows that space to open up. And then here's that one, isn't it? Sykes there, just off the back of Adjulise, into Naki Wells. Difficult one for him to get back on target, and here we are now. Here's the penalty. Yeah, just loses his foot in trade, doesn't he? And as you said, perhaps he can allow him to go on. See, they get lucky there. Fullback trying to backheel it into De Silva's path. And a little tangle up, he just grabs at his ankle, and I think it plays his foot onto his other one then.
I think Dan Ballard's going to take the ball here.
Well, you've got Dan Neil and you've got Ballard coming across, so then he's got a decision to make, hasn't he, De Silva? But, as you say, Trey's grabbed out on him there, and it's done enough for him to go over. And it's a good penalty. Listen, it goes the right way, Anthony Patterson, but it's accurate, it's right in the corner, it's a good strike. And, yes, massive blow, disappointment, but I think over the 90, I think they were good for a point, Bristol City.
Yeah, let's have a look at the other scores from in and around the Championship this afternoon. In the early kick-off, Millwall beat Sheffield United by 3-2 at home. Sheffield United stuttering a bit at the top, well, the top 2 anyway. Blackburn Rovers back to winning ways, 1-0 against Swansea City. Blackpool 1, Stoke City 0. Huddersfield Town 2, Birmingham City 1. Hull City 0, Preston North End 0. Luton Town 0, Burnley 1. That's gone
good
for
us. For us, yeah.
Middlesbrough 3, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Middlesbrough's good run continues. Rotherham United 0, Coventry City 2, and Wigan and Norwich held to a draw. Let's see what that does to the league table. We find ourselves looking at this quite a lot, don't we?
Yeah, well, we're still in 5th, aren't we? That's Millwall, same points as us, game in hand. But yeah, to know what you're looking at there now, Sheffield United looking over their shoulders at Middlesbrough. Look at that 7-point gap then, isn't it, down to Luton on 50 points. So
Middlesbrough pulling away and definitely catching up with Sheffield United. They'll feel
played a game more. They've got a game in hand, by the way, but still,
they'll
that's
take half from that.
Isn't it?
They'll take half from that.
Yeah, and they're in sight for them. Still a long way to go, isn't there? A lot of games to go. Ourselves, what, 14 is it to go for us? And we're still right in the mix.
Yeah, the point this afternoon doesn't look so bad on the table this afternoon, does it?
No, it doesn't. But you know, we hold on there. We're up into fourth, aren't we? With good goal difference. Look, we've got what, the fourth best goal difference, plus 13, and then you've still got Millwall over our shoulders. But yeah, still in a good position. You know, Blackburn, I think, back to winning ways there. But no, still in a good position. But yeah, it's a disappointment at the end of the day. You know, people will be leaving the ground, back in their cars, in the pubs, discussing it, and you feel a bit disappointed, don't you? You know, 2 points have slipped away.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a look at your thoughts on hashtag Ask Danny. We've been asking for your opinions from around the world. Ben Hall has been in touch. He said, what are your thoughts on Joe Gellard's performances? He's looked a bit short on confidence so far, says Ben.
Yeah, I think you know, it's 4 games he's played now. I thought Tuesday was perhaps his best performance down at Queen's Park Rangers.
Do you think with strikers they're always going to look not as confident until they start scoring the goals, and then
maybe
that's what they thrive on,
doesn't it? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, Tuesday night I was going to say there his performance was decent. I thought his touch, his link-up play was quite good, and his effort, his pressing could have done with the goal. The one in the first half is a good chance. I think if he has that again, he plays it with the outside of his left foot into the bottom corner, the other side of the keeper. And then the one second half, difficult because it bounces up before him. It's behind him. He's got to try and get his foot round it and get it on target. But today, ball's coming into him, a little bit isolated. Centre-halves handled him quite well. But then you can say, well, he played a good part in the build-up to the goal, didn't he? Ball come into it, stuck it on the halfway line, got it back, feeds it out to Jack, and then we go and get the goal. But he's a different player to Ross Stewart, isn't he? I think you can't compare them. Different types of strikers, really. I think Joe, I haven't seen much of Joe before he's come to the club. Well, he hasn't played too much football, if we're honest, has he? And he's trying to get up to match speed, I think. I think when the club have brought him in, they're thinking he's going to get some time off the bench. You know, Ross is the main man. More often than not, we play with one up top. And then Joe maybe coming on later in the games, or if we do go to a 2, he's got somebody in and around him, which is obviously why we went to maybe a 4-4-2 on Tuesday at Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
Jack there, a little bit of support around him. But today I just felt at times he was a little bit isolated. I know in behind him we had the 3, Ahmad, Patrick and Jack Clark on the left, rotating a little bit, but just at distances at times I felt. And then obviously he came off later on, but you know, we've got to keep him in the team. We haven't got another striker fit. You've seen towards the end we brought Big Ekwa came on, didn't he? We put him up top to try and just to take some pressure off, to get hold of the ball. But it didn't really, didn't work as such. We just got deep and they had a lot of the ball in that last 5 minutes. But no, Joe, you know, he'll stay in the team. He'll go again midweek. I think Rotherham next, isn't it?
Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday. And yeah, get that first goal, and then that might bring his confidence out a little bit more. And you know, you'd probably say it in terms of goalkeepers. You know, you look at clean sheets, confidence for them. Other end of the pitch, strikers, as he says there, is it in terms of goals? Do you get your confidence from that? And I'm not a striker, so I wouldn't know, but I'm guessing so. Yeah, if a striker's finding the back of the net, they're confident they're going to go out on the pitch and keep on doing it.
Before we move on to the next one, I've just got the match stats through for this afternoon's fixture, Danny. Sunderland sharing the possession on 54, so back on top on that front. 11 shots from Sunderland to Bristol City's 9. Only 3 on target for Sunderland, 2 on target for Bristol City. It says a lot about the game, doesn't it, as well, because there wasn't that many clear-cut opportunities.
Nope.
Neither keeper really had to make a really good save. We did see one from Anthony Patterson, though, in the first half.
Yeah, one from Patterson, and then their keeper, that one from Patterson.
Similar
shot,
kind of save,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, more shots on target. I think Tony Mowbray will want that on Tuesday, and a good opportunity against a struggling Rotherham as well.
Yeah, I think so. They've been beat 2-0 at home today, haven't they? So down the bottom end of the table we go there. You'd expect us to yeah, as you say there, test their keeper a little bit more, get on the front foot. Good following down there. You know, I think it holds 12,000, doesn't it? The New York Stadium.
New York Stadium.
Yeah, but yeah, the fans will go down in numbers, get behind them, and then if we do pick up the 3 points, this then doesn't look as bad, or doesn't feel as bad, does it? You know, a return of 4 points in the 2 games if we get the points.
Let's see then. Let's move on to another hashtag then. This time we are speaking to Ben, another Ben. Prediction of where Sunderland will finish, Danny.
Oof, threw it on my toes, hasn't he?
Do you think we'll get playoffs? You don't have to say third or sixth, but
no, I know. Yeah, will it playoffs? Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm backing us.
You said it now. You said it.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm still backing the boys.
What are you judging that on the teams who are in and around us?
Well, a bit of both, really. Yeah, the teams are having fits and starts. I look at Norwich. Changed their manager, had a couple of good results, and I'm thinking, oh, they're coming back into it, and then they had a couple of bad results as well.
There's always someone who has a late surge, and a lot of people are tipping these, you know, to do a kind of Blackpool.
Maybe. Again, we only see them over, I thought they were decent today, well organised, but we only see them over 180 minutes over the season. If we're looking at it now, Watford are a funny one. You know, more often than not, you look at Watford and the bad results, but they're always in and amongst it.
Yeah.
Blackburn have dropped out of it. I think they've won today. So they're getting right amongst it.
West Brom,
Luton are right
Millwall.
amongst it. Everyone's thinking of Luton going to drop out of it, but credit to them, they're still in there. Millwall as well, got a game in hand. It's going to be tough, but I keep saying it, I back us when we're at it against anyone. You know, we chatted to Lyndon before and he said the same, didn't he? Nobody's come here really and dominated us.
Nope.
And arguably it might suit us even more away from the stadium, like where teams come out, the onus is on the home team at times, isn't it, to come out and attack and to play a little bit more. But they didn't do that today. They didn't sit back like Reading last week, did they? They come and had a right good go at us, tried to get on the ball. But yeah, no, I'm confident we can stay the distance. We're a third of the season left, just under now, haven't we, I think. So we've been right amongst it. We've seen everybody. We've played everybody. But yeah, I'm going to back us.
Okay. I back us as well for the record.
Oh, good.
Let's have a look at another one of your hashtags then. This time's from Adam. He says, watching the game here in America, how did Danny like his trip to America when SFC played the Portland Timbers? Did they do the thing where they cut the...
saw the wood, yeah.
cut the wood up, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did, yeah. It's going back a long time now. That would have been 2000 and... I was on the Mick McCarthy, my sentence, 2005. So it's going back a while. Yeah, we had a little tour. I think we played Vancouver Whitecaps, Seattle Sounders, and then Portland Timbers. Yeah.
Did you win? Can you remember the scores?
I remember one of them. Was it Portland Timbers we played where it was an AstroTurf pitch, but it was proper old school AstroTurf.
Oh, right, okay.
So the lads had boots and mouldies.
Carbon burns.
So we had to go to a sports shop and try and buy, you know, like pimple trainers.
Yes, yeah.
So we could have a run out. And Mick wasn't happy, so he was rotating it every 20 minutes or so. Lads coming off because he was worried about the knees and stuff on the surface.
Was there any ex-Premier League players playing in the
I don't
MLS
think
at
gone
that
back
point?
a long time, aren't we? I don't think so back then. No one that jumps out, if I'm honest, no. But yeah, there was a lot of travelling involved. We were in Canada, then it was down the border to Seattle and obviously Portland. I remember that. Bit planes, trains and automobiles going on. But yeah, it was a good tour early on.
Didn't have to sell your Rolex though for a motel overnight, did you?
No.
Let's have a look at the final hashtag here on the show this afternoon from Conor. Is that a bad result in your eyes, Danny?
It's a bad result from the position we were in. 1-0 at home. 3 minutes left on the clock. Of course it is, yeah, you ask anybody, you know, see the game out, isn't it? But obviously, and then you look at the old cliche, the game's never over till the final whistle. And that's exactly what's happened today. But over the course of 90 minutes, I thought Bristol City were arguably good for a point. I thought they shaded it in the first half, obviously, in terms of, well, say, opportunities. There weren't many at either end, were they? But they had that 5-minute scramble, didn't they? Good shot, good save, and then the one just after it. And then, yeah, we had a good spell in the second half. We got the goal. You said it, we played that little bit of flair, we know what we've got. Not arrogance as such, just confidence on the ball. You get yourselves in front, the crowd give you a lift. But then that went away. I thought we played ourselves into trouble a little bit. A couple of lads got caught on the ball, taking too many touches at times. And then it gets nervy again. And then they pressed on. They had a bit of the ball, didn't they, in the last 5 minutes. They made some changes. They almost had a front four, front five. And, you know, Nigel Pearson saying we may as well get beat 2-0, having a go for it. And that's what happened. And then they get a bit of fortune down the left-hand side. And it's just one of those things. Unfortunate for Trey, who's been excellent since he's been back in the team. It's going to happen. And we got punished. So, yeah, it feels like a disappointment. We've said it there. You know, everybody thinks they're getting in the cars. Another 3 points. It's a 9-point week. Unfortunately, it's not. It's a 7-point week. So it's not a bad week in terms of that. But we've got to go again on Tuesday, try and put it right, pick up the 3 at Rotherham, and we go again.
Yes, we do go again on Tuesday. Danny is right. It's a 7:45 kickoff down at the New York Stadium. Rotherham United are the hosts on Tuesday. 7:45 kickoff means we'll be on air for SAFC live from 7:15. And because it's Tuesday evening, we should be able to broadcast everywhere for that one. Thanks for being with us today. Sunderland have been held to a draw here at the Stadium of Light. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.